What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If we've not yet met, my name is Johnny Nitafan, and in this episode, we have a top telesales producer. We have Tina Wood coming on here live. Thanks for coming on here, Tina.
Thank you so much for having me, Johnny.
Of course, it's dope because we've been working together for 2 months now, and it's been cool to see your progression. Obviously, you started, you're just getting back into the industry, or you've been in the industry. You're here for a little bit, but then really trying to ramp back up. And it's cool seeing your progression, right? Because I mean, last week having 2 hat tricks, 3 sales in a day, having consistent deals coming through. It's been really cool to see your progression as you've come through the community. What do you feel like some of the biggest takeaways from like being inside the community has been, do you feel?
You know what? It's really true when people say just surround yourself with the people that you want to be like. It's just so true because it's your mindset is everything. Like to have the right and positive mindset because sometimes like your close, family or people around you, they just want safety for you. So they're going to tell you things to go the safe route. Like, no, I don't think this is for you. You shouldn't take like a commission-based job. And you just start to hear these things, and it's all out of love. It's definitely just all out of love. But then when you're around the people like the community who just really push you and motivate you, and you see the numbers, that they're posting, and you see the habits, like it's really like their habits. Like you see Gonzalo, like getting up super early in the morning, like posting deals, doing like all of that. It's like super important. So I think, if you really want to succeed in this industry, I think the fastest way to do it is really surround yourself with the people that you want to, be like. And what I love about the community too, Johnny, and I've mentioned this before, is you basically lay out the blueprint. Like I love your script. Like I really do. It's so simple and it's like so straightforward, but
Yeah.
it's so effective. Like it is. It really is. And like I never like giving out the producer number, it just builds credibility. Like everything that you put in there, it flows so well. And so you literally give us all of that. And I really do enjoy like learning on the marketing side too with like Elijah. I think that's like super cool that you do that like once a week, because I think that's very important for people to eventually like get a hold of learning how to do like their own leads, because I went into lead debt before I came. So like I did start like late last summer, but because like I got divorced last summer, and so my kids are out of state for a month, and they're back with me. And then so when I started, like I had them in July, so it was just like a really busy month. And then no, wait, yeah, and I started in July, and I had them in August, and then September, it was really just busy, and I still ended up doing decent, but I wasn't prepared for the chargebacks. So in this industry, you really
Yeah.
have to be prepared for those things. And I don't think I was properly prepared. And so it kind of scared me out of the industry for sure. Like it scared me. I thought, okay, well, like maybe this isn't for me. So about like October, November, I decided to pivot, and I thought maybe like I should go into health, that's safe, you
Yeah.
know, there's no chargebacks,
I feel like
you know.
that's a classic thing for people is like, okay, life is not it, health is the way. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like because it seems safe, right? Because I mean, it's a lot less pay. It's like $20 per head, but it's like the safe. There's no chargebacks, but then there's other things with health too, though. Like there's like you don't get paid till like 3 months out and things
Yeah,
like
it's a
that.
while.
So yeah, so but I decided, okay, that's the route I'm going to take. Like I like bought like a 5 or 6 week course with like Louise, but then in the midst of all that, I got into a car accident like in December, and that just like I fractured my spine, like had 6 spinal fractures. My sister's a nurse, and she flew to Utah to come get me. I went to Canada, and it was like I was really broken. I was, because like, all of a sudden, like I was with someone for 12 years, as a stay-at-home, like, wifey, we had this kind of like white picket fence, my kids were very privileged. Like, we lived like this kind of life that, everyone thought, wow, this is like a perfect life. And then it just kind of came crumbling down. So I think I was at a very low point in my life, and I came across like your ad, and I've seen your YouTubes, and I love your content, and I've seen David's, of course, like Cody, like all the people. And
Yeah.
when I saw, just, what you were offering with your community, I just thought, okay, like, let's get on this call and see, what Johnny has to offer. And I think you remember that first call, like, I was pretty broken. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know, what should I do? Like, I don't know, because again, I was at home in Canada with my family and friends. And, of course, like I said, they just want the best for you. So they're just asking you to go like the safe route. And they're saying, like, this is not for you. Like, this is not a commission base, is not the job for like a single mom. And so I was hearing all of this noise where I knew like what I wanted to do. I like deep down, like I had, like the passion, like the desire to want more. Like you want to be like the one in your family to like, be able to take care of everyone in your family, like your parents, like,
Yeah.
your family. And I had this like burning desire, but then you have to really surround yourself with the right people, because when I was just hearing this noise, like from my family, all out of love, it just kind of like holds you back. But then when I joined the community and you guys just totally like uplifted my spirits, like it was just like everything was perfect, like the perfect timing, the perfect fit. Like I love the people, like you guys are all just so great. And like I loved everything, like the little interactions, like even like our one-on-one. And I thought it was just so great. And then especially like with the leads, like you guys creating like all of the marketing and getting the leads so dang cheap. Like it was
Yeah.
crazy after going into lead debt. Like I literally went into like super bad lead debt because I kind of, when I started, I was buying a lot of leads, like right off the bat. And it was probably not the smartest thing to do, but I just,
For sure.
you hear like throw yourself in there. And so I just was buying, buying, buying. And
Yeah.
then with your group, it's like you showed us how to really get those at like a really affordable cost. So that was
Yeah, for
awesome.
sure. And that's like super important, especially like I think that's a lot of agents' stories. So that was my story for sure. It's like you come in, you buy all the leads that people say to do, and then you realize, okay, there could be a better way. I don't know what it is. And then I think a lot of people have the limiting belief that like I have to become this expert marketer that spends 40 hours a week marketing, but like how much time were you spending on ads?
Like none, not with you guys. Just you guys literally, it was plug and play. And that was like, I truly believe like it was like worth every penny, like just because of everything, like especially the mind shift, but like the leads, it was just perfect. Like everything was done for you. Like I literally didn't spend any time. So it was truly amazing. So I'm so
Yeah.
grateful.
For sure, and it was cool seeing like seeing your progression in that. But like you came in, you obviously were dealing with family. You had a lot of stuff going on at that time. I want to talk about like okay, you're at this spot where you're with your family, you're hearing all this noise, and you just got into an accident. Obviously, life stuff happens, but like and you didn't have a lot of money, but you still chose to bet on yourself and invest in yourself. Like, why did you do that at that time? Because a lot of people, I think, in your position would have been like, "No, I need to do this. I need to deal with all that. Maybe it's not the right time." Like, what was kind of the thing that pushed you forward to be like, "You know what? I have to do this now, and I have to invest in myself and really join this community."
I really, really believe in investing in yourself. I'm a huge believer in like self-development. Like I got teased all the time, like before, like because I would always have my headphones on, like listening to everything like Tom Bilyeu, like Ed Milet, like all the people, just everyone all the time, like while I'm doing dishes, everything. So I'm just like such a huge believer in like mindset and surrounding yourself with the people that you want to be like, because that's going to be like your greatest, indicator of your success is the people that you are surround yourself with. And I just
100%.
yeah, I looked at your story and it's just like it's gonna pay for itself. And I remember you saying that to me, Johnny, and I was like, Johnny, are you sure? Are you sure? And you're like, it's gonna pay for itself. And it totally did. So for that, I'm truly grateful. So thank you.
Of course. Yeah, and I think like that's one thing it's definitely hard and challenging in those times, but I think if you don't know what you don't know. I mean, how much
Yeah.
is not making 10, 20,000 a month costing you? Like if you really think about it, it's if you're making 5,000 and you could be making 10,000 with learning a skill. I mean, you're costing yourself $60,000 a year. And if you could pay
Right.
for that for a tenth of the price, I mean, it's definitely worth it. And so I think I'm a firm believer in that. And I think that's why I've chose to kind of go down this path of building a program out that people can pay, they could see a transformation, genuinely lives be changed. Like that's really what it comes down to, is not only the business side, but I think the personal side. Like there's real relationships inside the community, and I think I truly care about people that do come in. Like have a massive heart. Everybody here has a massive heart for the people that come in. It's like we we feel like we need to, I don't know. It's one of those things that some people are like, yeah, that's my business and my coaching program. But like for me, it's like it's family. It really does become a really tight knit community where you're getting on calls consistently, you're dialing, you're obviously there's the business side, but there's the personal touch and aspect to where it's like, let's talk about life. Like, how's everything going? Is everything going okay? How are you setting yourself up? Are you working now to be able to provide for yourself later? Has that like talk about some of your experiences in that regard?
Yeah, so it's just like I said, it was for me, it was the whole mindset thing. Like when I went into your program, I was pretty discouraged with, and I was kind of disappointed in myself, because I thought like I kept for some reason like my mind, and I shouldn't be doing this, like was shifting to like the past, and you always have to focus on the present. And it just kept shifting on the past, but like being around, the community, being around like such a positive group, being around like people that like motivate, like every time you throw something up on Slack, everyone's like, yay, like emojis, like even those little things, like celebrating the little wins is like so important, it's like,
Yeah.
you need to be successful, of course, like, Napoleon Hill talks about, like, you need that like desire, right? You need that drive, but then you also need to have like, systems in place and like a plan in place and like the right people around you. And so I think that's like what the community does, because like you have all that. You have like the systems in place, you have the blueprint, you have like the leads, you have the marketing, you have the script. Like I said, like that script is like my favorite. Like I super, super love that script. And so just having like all of that, it was just really important to me, in shifting like my mindset to something like, okay, like here's like the step-by-step process. Like I can do this. And like everyone else is achieving this like
Yeah.
around, like you see like Max, you see like Chase, you see Gonzalo, everyone's doing so great. And like everything that you have accomplished too, Johnny. Like it's definitely, I'm like, okay, I want to be where like Johnny is, and you've accomplished it so young. So it's really incredible and it's motivating. And so that was, that's how I felt about
Oh, that's
everything.
cool. That's really cool.
Right.
And I think like what I really want to dive into real quick is like, okay, you came in and you didn't have the fastest start. And we'll just
My
be like, we both know that, right? Like
back
you
was broken though, Johnny. My
yeah.
back was broken.
No, and I don't say that in a bad way. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you had a lot going on when you did come
Yeah.
in. But there
Yeah.
was a change, there was a shift that happened because we'd get on calls, we talk and like, okay, you were here 100%, but you are also were dealing with life and things were happening. But there was obviously a shift that happened to where it's like you started coming out the gates and it was like selling policies left and right and coming in like last week having like closing 6 deals in 2 days, like just consistently showing up and doing the work and actually like seeing good success in terms of like selling policies. What was the shift that happened for you?
It's, you know what? It's really like self-belief and like grit and determination and the hard work. You just have to work hard, because I found that like before, it's like you give yourself excuses. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of the kids. Like you tell yourself excuses when really, like, if you really focus and you really want to like achieve something, you can do it. Like if there's like a lot of things going on, but let's say like someone's captured your kids and you have to make these sales in order to rescue, you're going to do it. You're going to find a way. So
Yeah.
I think I just really shifted my mentality with that too. Like stopped giving myself excuses. Oh, like my back is broken. Like, my back is fractured. Oh, like, I have these kids, but you're like, no, we got to stop that. Like, we got to like really hit these goals. We got to really hit these numbers, because everything is about like grit and determination. Like that's what's going to get you far, is you just have to persevere, because like that's why so many people, like myself too, like I quit the industry for a little bit And then like I came back in, but like the reason that people do it is because like, yeah, it gets hard, right? And then you just kind of quit. But like you just got to keep going, because if you keep going and you just keep trying and you persevere, you're gonna make it. You are like, there's no it's just gonna happen, because like the best people in the industry are probably not, it's not like they were had some superpower or they were more talented than anybody else. It was
Yeah.
literally they're probably just harder workers. You're gonna just go up against all these people that are just going to outwork you. So instead of letting someone outwork you, like, why don't you start developing that habit and start, outworking everyone else too? Despite your circumstance. Like right now, like I homeschool my kids, right? Because my ex is out of state, right? So I homeschool them. And so, like I said, like I don't give myself like excuses anymore, because easy to do that. It's easy to fall back into that mindset, like, oh, like my back, oh, my kids, but you just can't do that. I think that's like there was a shift in my mind where I'm like, and it was like I was like seeing all these numbers. I'm like, I can do that. Like I know I can do that. And like I just really have to shift my mind, and like no more excuses. Like just, put your head down and work. And when you work, you see results, and that's just it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool to see that transformation because all of a sudden it seemed like the light bulb went off and it was just like you're
Yeah.
off to the races and all of a sudden like tonality's on point, script's on point, you're on Zooms, you're doing the dials, running the presentations, interacting consistently. And I think like you have to have those people to be successful, you have to have people around that like you can borrow their belief. You can take from that and be like, "You know what? If they can do it, I can do it." And I think one of the funniest things when I've like joined coaching programs and masterminds and communities myself is that there's no secret. You realize that there's no secret sauce and there's no like you see these people and it's like I want to be like them, and then when you start talking to them it's like they're just like me. They just
Yeah.
work harder. They just work harder.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like as you start, and I think that's part of the thing too, is like once you start becoming closer to people in the community, you become good friends, and you're just like, oh, they're just like regular people. It's like if they just work harder. And of course, like they're really skilled, they're skilled, but they've developed that skill
Yeah.
from like hard work and like repetition, perseverance. You just repeat and just learn, and you're just going to get better. Like every day you're going to get better. So
Yeah.
yeah, just yeah.
For sure. What you being a single mom and kind of balancing all that is like I commend you for that because that's a lot, right?
So,
Like that is a lot to do that plus be an entrepreneur. I mean, that's one of the toughest and challenging things. And what would your advice be to agents out there that might be in similar positions, right? They're single parenting at times. They got the kids at home while they're trying to make this business work. Um, Not everybody can do that. Like what would your advice be to them to really make it?
yeah, I would really say that to invest in yourself. Like I think that's really important, because as a mom, like you often like lose yourself, because of course like motherhood is hands down like the best thing that's ever happened in my life. Like don't get me wrong, it's so important to raise, good, kind, ethical humans, like, but also like mothers like often lose themselves when we become mothers, because everything becomes about their kids. But you have to remember that you have to really work on yourself and build yourself, and so you be the example that you want for your children. You can't just tell your kids to be successful or to be happy or to like chase their dreams. Like words are cheap, right? Like you have to like show them, you have to build it yourself. You want them to emulate like what you've become, right? So I think it's important to find all the ways to make you grow as a person. I think whether that's like, courses or podcasts or whatever, if you don't have the money right away, you can start by YouTube. Like that's where I started, like YouTube, like, podcasts, like those are all free. You get a little bit more money, you start going like Audible, like listening to books. You can do that while you're like vacuuming, while you're doing dishes, while you're driving. Like that's what I did, and then, from there, if you, have a little bit more, you can like develop and buy programs or courses. And I think that's just so important, because if you have, want financial freedom, like something like life insurance, I think is amazing for single moms. I think it's so great because, you can start off some like, as just, selling and producing, but you can scale. You can scale to the point where you can have people underneath you, and then you can reach the point of having freedom, which is what I think like a lot of mothers want. Like they want to spend the time, the quality time with their children. And so life insurance is definitely a vehicle to do that. So I think this is definitely like the right path if someone is looking for a new career or something where, and you don't have to be the best, salesperson either. Like if anything, like if you're a clean slate, that's almost better,
Yeah.
because you're coachable, and basically if you're a hard worker and you're a hard worker and all you have to do is like listen to the audio tape, like just listen to like everyone else, like the high producers that are selling, just listen to their tonality and you're gonna start talking the same way. So it's not, rocket science. It really isn't. And I know, Johnny, you know this as well. It really isn't
It's really
like the
not.
top producers. It really is not. Like you
Yeah.
just literally follow a formula, follow a system. So I think for mothers, I think I think this is like a great career choice for mothers.
Yeah.
And I think yeah, best advice is to like definitely invest in yourself, not just for you, but like for your children.
Yeah. I think as we wrap up here, what I want to ask you something because people listening are probably asking the same question the back of their head. And you probably were asking this and you probably wanted this as well. Like for somebody on the other side of taking that investment, taking that leap of faith, like it feels like a lot at first and it feels like you're climbing Mount Everest. It feels like, geez, that's a huge investment. I mean, it's a huge whatever, right? Whatever you could say to justify it, which makes sense. But like being on the other side of joining the program and being inside the community, what would you tell somebody that's kind of on the edge?
I would say just take the leap of faith. Just trust that the universe has your back. I know it's like so cliche to say something like that, but it really is true. I think gut instinct is like so important. And if like, because even though I was like nervous, like something in my gut like was just like pushing me. I was like you got to do this. And you just have to really trust your gut. Like I really truly believe that you just trust your gut. You just take that leap of faith. Just know that the universe has your back because in the end, like it's something that is achievable. Everyone else can achieve this. Everyone that's normal, just like you and I. And all it takes is if you're willing to put in the work. That's it. If you can put in the hours and if you can put in the work and if you're coachable, and if you have those prerequisites, then you're going to be successful.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. And it's fun working with you. Obviously, you're on to bigger and better things now, but it's cool to be able to have impacted your life one way, shape, or form and have you a part of the community. Really like just growing as a person, growing as an individual, growing like your mindset and skill set as a top producer. So best of luck to you with whatever you got going moving forward. And guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel right now, share this with a friend if you found it valuable. Drop in the comments down below what you're going to take from this episode. I hope it was super valuable for you guys. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank
Peace.
you.